sword. Does that belong to you?
Oh, fucking hell.
The REM pod just went off. Yeah. Oh my god, please no.
Hey guys, we finally made it. 5.5 hours. We timed it wrong. Birmingham rush hour. But we're in room 4. Legendary room 4. There's the sword up there. Mrs. Geek is freezing
I
and
am so cold.
she's shitting her pants a little bit. We nearly didn't make it this morning. It was just going to be me because up until about an hour before we left, she wasn't coming. So I'll give you a quick look at the room, and then I'll just put this sort of static over there somewhere so I don't interfere with the infrared up there. But how creepy is that? So we've got EMF, we've got a REM pod, we've got some cat balls, like a spare phones in case my batteries run out. So apparently the first hour is always the quietest. We'll see what happens. Let's turn
Turn your torch off.
your torch off. My torch is off, it's yours. 3 hunts, and it's literally gone off twice, and both in the same place for a split second. We've taken everything electrical away from it. I've tried it with the lights, it's not going off. We've moved my phone and everything away, and for some reason it just keeps randomly going off on the middle of the bed.
Just pop it down.
So, is there anyone here with us? If you are, can you light with the box like you just did? We've got a few objects in the room. We've got the green light on the bed called an EMF. If you touch that, it'll light up, we'll know you're here. We've got a black box by the door called a REM pod. If you walk near that, an alarm will sound and we'll know you're there. And there's 2 balls that'll light up if you move them. So if you want us to know you're here and you want to give us a sign, feel free to touch any of the equipment or to talk to us.
Can I sit on the bed?
Yeah.
I was asking.
Oh.
Anybody, I just don't want to upset anybody because they stay there. So I'm going to sit.
So guys, normally I've got much better lighting while I'm doing the talking and stuff. But I want to catch that EMF going off because if you've watched the 3 hunts that me, Mrs. Geek and Dean have done, that thing has never gone off. Well, it's gone off twice. Was that by you? It might be them next door.
Possibly.
The floorboards creaking.
Yeah.
They want to bang.
No, it was just like walking. Like, it didn't feel like it was by me then.
If you're there, can you light up the box on the bed? Or use any of our objects? Or even talk to us?
Make a sound.
My name's Dale, but everyone calls me Beardo.
I'm Kelly.
We don't mean any harm. We are literally just here in this fantastic building to try and find proof of the afterlife or to disprove the afterlife.
The sword. Does that belong to you?
Oh, fucking hell.
The REM pod just went off. Yeah. Oh my god. Please no.
So our REM pod is going off.
Is that you, boy?
Come in room 4.
Where's
Yeah.
the button?
And,
Yeah, go on.
yeah, that's
It's still
fine.
going off.
Checking up on you guys, everything okay?
The REM pod's going off and our EMF
They can't hear you, love.
is going off.
Our REM pod's constantly going off on the door. The EMF was going off before that.
I can tell you that when you radio back to me, it will set any EMF detector off or REM device within about 2 meters. So if you want, you can just talk back to me on the camera. I can hear you right now. Just where you're stood is where the sword was found that is hanging above the downstairs bar. That was found in 1924 and dates back to the 17th century.
Alright, cool. Yeah, the REM pod was going off before the radio went on. The EMF was going off the centre of the bed there. I've done 3 investigations. The last one I did was 6 hours and one of these devices has gone off. So that's quite...
That's interesting. If it happened before the radio, then it could be genuine EMF spikes.
Yeah, the REM pod went off 3 times before the radio, I think. Was it 2 or 3?
2.
And the last one was kind of constant, but that was probably you calling me. The 2 before, there was nothing. It sounded like somebody was out there, maybe. But it's
What
not...
I can say is that when I radio through to you, it shouldn't set any of the devices off. It's only when you radio back to me.
Alright. Well, the longest blast we had on it was when you radioed me. Obviously, it's not done it now, so that is weird.
If there's
Alright
anyone
guys, we'll
listening,
leave you to enjoy your investigation and we'll be in touch within the hour.
Thank you. So, was that you touching our equipment? If it was, thank you very much. You've just given me more evidence, potentially, in 10 minutes. Well, I've got in about 12 hours of ghost hunting in the last month I've been doing them. So could you make that box go off again? I think it's there behind. And thank you. So are you anything to do with the sword? That's never gone off.
you're so excited.
I am, because I thought it was broke.
But I said sword earlier and it went off.
And that's when it kicked off.
Yeah.
Thing is, nobody's...
Nobody's out there, everybody's in their room.
That won't pick up motion through a door. You've literally got to grab the aerial for that to go off. So are you connected to the sword? I'm still wondering about using that guy's name.
Oh no, oh no. What guy's name?
Charles.
Oh, please no.
Charles, is that you?
I don't think he's up here.
Or is there any of the ladies of the hotel? Any of the ladies that worked here?
Are you the owner of the sword that was found in this room?
It's the owner.
Thank you.
So guys, I just blinded myself. I'm going to turn my torch on just to do this bit. That REM pod hasn't gone off. I've left this recording in the dark. You've been hearing it. We've had this on in the house. It's gone off once or twice in the house. Every investigation has gone on with me. Not once has that thing ever made a sound. And it's going off all the time. Control had radioed back up to us and said if I'm using the radio this end, it'll set both of them off. When both of these were alarming, I wasn't using the radio. They told me to talk to them through the camera up there, so I wasn't setting everything off, and it's gone off again. And
it seems to be around a sword.
we've asked, basically, are you the owner of the sword? And that's when it's alarmed. Now, my hearing isn't the greatest, but my eyesight's pretty good, and nothing has walked past that door. That won't go off through the door. Literally, you've got to put your hand within 5 millimeters of it for that thing to go off. So, you know, I don't know what to make of that. The EMF, that can sometimes go off just with a bit of movement or phone signal, but our phones are in airplane mode. A, it saves battery, B, we don't want any contamination. So I'm going to go lights back off, but so far so good, I'm pretty impressed. It's probably one of those waves they've been on about.
Yeah, maybe. But it was funny though, like the two questions when we mentioned the sword. I'll try it again. If you're the owner of the sword that was found in this room, can you set the device off this by the door?
I jumped the first time I went off because it's never gone off.
My heart is racing, to be honest.
I'm not scared though.
I don't get a bad feeling in this room.
No.
I don't think. Not like.
I mean, of the rooms that's on the show, this is probably the least creepy. Although we've had more activity in here than I've had in months. Within the space of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't understand why that would go off over there. I want to take the EMF up on here because they had a Ouija board up on here not so long ago.
We don't do Ouija.
There's EMF on here.
What?
There's EMF up on here where the Ouija board used to be.
Oh, get it away.
It's gone. What? How can a piece of wood... There might be wiring behind there.
Well, the camera's there though, isn't there?
Oh, there's a wire behind our wall.
Okay.
There's a 5 right there, look. Right, let me keep that a bit dimmer.
We have no footage.
So guys, we've got not much more with the EMF or the REM pod, but they said to us it tends to come in waves between 30 seconds, 2 minutes, quite a random. You could get nothing, so we're probably quite lucky to have got what we've got. The only thing I've managed to debunk, EMF on the bed, I can't debunk that. EMF on this wall. There's obviously the plug sockets there. The EMF 5 is coming off wiring behind there. There's obviously live, but for the bed, can't work that out. REM pod, can't work that out.
If there's anybody in this room with us, this box in my hand, can you go near it and light it up for me? You can come and sit on the bed next to me if you want, and this will go off.
Should we turn the light off completely?
No. Don't be stupid.
Are you still here with us?
What was that tapping?
There's a door banging that side of us. I don't know what's that. Is there a room there?
Where?
This side of us?
No, don't think so. Yeah, there must be.
I don't know, do I ask him about that? 'Cause it's probably just a door banging down.
Yeah, it's not loud enough anyway to pick up on my camera, I don't think.
It's definitely a door because I can hear somebody peeing.
That's it, toilet.
Good flow. If you stop and start it, and you've got gallbladders or stones or something. Kidney stones. It's not a ghost chat, something having a waz. Weirdly, I'm not getting any sort of... Like, I've never claimed to be psychic at all. I just claim I'm open to believing. I am skeptical. I do debunk things, as some of you know. Got a little bit of trouble with Mindseed. Oops-a-daisy. Right, that's them walking back out of the bathroom. That's got to be under us. if you're still here, do you want to use any of our equipment? If you say something loud enough, my camera will be able to hear you. And when I look back, I'll know if you've spoken to us. Or can you give us another sign? Can you move something or bang something? Can you knock on the walls? What I don't want to do is knock on the walls and then everyone else think it's me. There's somebody in the hallway. There's somebody out in the hallway.
Pushed the button on the radio, you said that would make that go off.
I forgot it was there.
You're right.
Yeah, I just fell off a step.
Say again, sorry, what's the names?
It's Dale and Kelly. And do you know if there's anyone walking around in the hallway? Because somebody's just walked up towards this room by the sound of it.
I'd turn that off while you're using the radio.
No guys, we've got eyes on all cameras, everybody's in their rooms.
I just heard somebody fucking walk up there. Did you hear it?
Yeah, unless it's in the room.
No,
That's it by the wall.
I was sat on the step there with my hand on the floor, and I felt somebody walking.
I heard it. I didn't feel it.
But the floorboards run straight through, and it squeaked in that corner like somebody stood outside the door. I can hear the two people in that room. If that was you, can you knock the door? Can you give me 2 or 3 knocks? I'll try not to fall off the step this time because my stupid REM pod scared me. If you turned it off, you.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Where's the radio?
On my side there,
Give me the
but
radio. So it's not near it.
see, it's not setting off for no reason. Like, is that you? Can you do that again? Hold that for me. I want to see under the door. I don't understand what's going off. Could you knock on the door, the walls for me? That's the door. That's got me pickled there. Because I heard somebody walking up there.
Yeah, I heard it.
But you can see the light under the door and I couldn't see anyone out there. And they've checked the camera and there's everyone's in the room.
I think I've gone warm again now.
I'm boiling. I think it's adrenaline right now because I used to see actually having my stuff work. Like we've caught some really weird noises and stuff and things that shouldn't be happening, but the equipment doesn't tend to work.
It has worked.
In the house, but
Yeah, but our house is
probably as old.
activity.
Yeah, our house is probably as old as this place. We just don't film there. There's somebody up there again. Hello? There's somebody stood outside the door.
Open the door.
We're not allowed.
We're not allowed.
It says to stay in your room. Oh, it's me. There's nobody here.
Well, I did. Oh, shit. Okay, in front of me.
I know, I'm having a look. There's nobody here. There's nobody out in the hallway.
They definitely were.
Tell them we can still hear somebody walking around. Because they can check the cameras. You shy? So guys, alright, I am quite easily spooked, but it's normally loud noises. So you've seen it. I've heard people walking up to this door twice now. The second time, I've actually gone out there. I think we're supposed to stay in our rooms, but I wanted to see if I could just catch somebody like sneaking back and forth trying to scare me. And 4 or 5 steps, you get to the end, turn right, and there's a little big long corridor to the staircase. And I would have heard somebody running up there. They wouldn't have had time to get out of sight because the other rooms have got people in there. We've radioed down and they've said there's nobody there. They've checked the cameras.
If there is anybody outside, can you knock our door?
See, that's always been a thing of mine when I watch the show. That it's easy for on the show to say there's nobody in the corridor and they can change, overlay a timestamp on the video to make it look like the same time. That's easy to fake. But I've just gone running out there and there's nobody there.
I don't think. It doesn't seem like.
No, I know they don't seem like the type of guys to do something like that. But I tried to debunk stuff.
What was that? What touched you then?
It wasn't, it was the floor. It was like somebody just stood next to my hand. It might just be next door because it's made a noise in there as well. A lot of it's just echo, I think. Thing is, I might have tried to radio them just now, and if they're on the radio with someone else, they're not going to know anyway. But I've recorded the whole thing. I've gone out there and there's nobody there. So if that was you we heard walking around outside, you're welcome to come in. You can come in and interact with us. I'm not scared of you.
That wasn't me.
So there again. I could just... That sound there just sounds like floorboards. Do you know what I mean? Settling? No. There's somebody outside the door. That was because I moved. There's somebody outside. If that's you outside, can you knock the door? Can you give us 3 knocks for yes? Why have I asked for 3 knocks? One will do. Could you knock once? So we know you're there? Fucking hell.
Can I just ask you guys, are you hearing something outside your door?
Yeah, it's almost constant at the moment. It happened a few, probably about 10 minutes ago, and I actually stuck my head out and had to look up the corridor. There's nothing there.
Okay guys, found an explanation for you. The women in room 5, which is next door to you, one of them is sat right by the door. It is causing a creak on the floorboard, which I can currently hear in the corridor. So that may be what you're hearing.
Yeah, maybe the recent one, but the one before, it was literally somebody walked past the door, and I stuck my head out and looked at the corridor, and there's nothing there. It sounded like somebody walked right up to our door and then walked off.
That creaking
Okay,
sound.
interesting. Alright guys, keep at it. We are going to be moving people within the next 15 minutes.
So some of the creaks, the guys downstairs, fair enough, they've debunked. They could have bullshitted us. They could have just said, oh no, it's a ghost. Stick it on YouTube. And they haven't. They've said somebody sat by the door next door. It's causing creaking in here. But what I heard maybe 10 minutes ago wasn't creaking of somebody sat on the floor. I heard somebody walk up to the door. It got progressively louder and they've moved away. And I've gone out there and not been able to work out what that is. I'm not even that on all night.
No. I don't know. I don't know. Would a movement set that off, or something have to go near the
You've got-
area?
Look how close I was sat to it and it didn't go off.
Can you do that again, please?
Right, there's a radio going off somewhere. If that goes off now and they talk back. Right, there's the radio going off. The guy's downstairs. And there's the women talk.
Maybe if they're pressing their radio, then it's setting that off.
Yeah, but I've just heard them talk back and they haven't gone off.
Okay.
It's weird that I'm hearing all that noise and the REM pods going off. That one where I went out there, I heard somebody walk up to the door and walk off. But I've gone out there and there's nothing there. Right, so guys, I'm going to turn this lot off. They're going to be moving us in the next 10 to 15 minutes. For 40 minutes in this room. That was a lot. So guys, we've been moved. We're now in the doll room. What I've never noticed on the TV show is that creepy bitch. Look at that. That's creepier than the one that moves.
So cool.
So there's a cat ball over there. It's not ours. Don't know whether to put any equipment out yet because it was going off so much last time by the door. If we do, it'll be over this end away from everyone. Check this shit out. I mean, they've done an incredible job of decorating this. This is far creepier than the last room.
I don't like this at all.
Sorry, just leave the lights on. Sarah and Billy and the evil father figure.
Is it nearly 10 o'clock?
No, it's 20 past 9.
That goes off every hour, mind.
I set for 10.
Huh?
That's on 10 o'clock now.
Okay.
Or they set it.
It's gonna go off.
I can hear it. So this room's not as dark as the other one, but
No,
it is far more freaky.
They are cool.
So Billy and Sarah are the names of the children. Over there, I can't tell which one it is. It's got to be the one with the cat ball on it, hasn't it?
I presume so.
One of those dolls. Doesn't happen all the time, but quite a few occasions it's been thrown. So if we could get that, that would be epic.
If there is anyone in the room with us, can you make a sound? Just let us know that you're here.
Sarah or Billy, if you're with us, can you let us know? We hear you like to touch dolls. Could you move one of the dolls for us? This is one with a baby crying, and this is one they get all the knocks as well.
Do you know what? I don't think anything's going to come through because I am literally petrified.
That might be why it comes through.
No, they won't come if you're scared.
I don't think it works like that,
They
look.
won't. They don't want to scare you on purpose.
Oh, that's the new doll they've had
Yeah,
over there.
oh well,
That one moved as well. Or has moved.
yeah.
So if there's anyone here with us, a child or an adult, can you let us know? Can you knock on the walls or the doors?
was my stomach.
Oh. Thought somebody talked then. Can you tell us what's behind this wall? That's a car door outside. If you're not a child, are you the angry male? Can you knock on the door or the walls? Are you evil like people say? Or are you misunderstood and just trying to protect the children? Or is it true that you may have buried a child in the wall? What the fuck is this? Judges Samson's vengeance.
What's that?
Bible page.
Okay.
There might be clues. I'm guessing all the trigger objects and clues are all these dolls. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not sleeping in here. I genuinely don't like those dolls.
But it's like the one that Tal had though. She had a China doll, remember?
Yeah.
But she hid it, she said. When she was 8, and I found it hidden in her bottom drawer, and she just covered it with a load of stuff.
Clues.
Clues.
Doll in this room, which so far remains nameless, has been identified as containing its own entity and isn't haunted by any one spirit. Does this doll contain a demonic possession? She has been recorded moving and being pushed over on many occasions. Once stood up, she appears to be stable and still, but seems to move. She does not like us in the room. Can you get a feeling as to what possesses this doll? Debunking head on. Because everyone picks the doll up and nobody looks under there. Literally just a shelf. There is nothing under there.
Is there anyone in this room with us?
Oh, I've just seen that. Off the intro.
Yeah.
If you are the spirit of a child, or if you're a child, we are parents. We have our own children.
Well, this doll's gone her head.
It's up there. We'd love it if you could come and play with us.
Super creepy.
And if you really want to have fun, and you push that doll over,
Or move something. This pram. Or the horse.
if you can move someone in this room, I guarantee you'll laugh, because she'll be gone. Can you knock on the wall? What about a whistle? Is I don't want to whistle and knock on the walls.
Yeah.
Because if somebody else asking the same thing and they knock, we'll think it's a ghost and it's not, it's each other, and then we're all radioing them downstairs. And they're like, no, it's you lot freaking each other out.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm a bit thinking of turning my light on, so the video is probably going to look a little bit like shit. But they've got infrared cameras, and if I've got a light on constantly, they're not going to be able to do anything with it should anything happen. So I've set up a REM pod and a cat ball over by those creepy ass dolls that move. We've got an EMF in the window there and a cat ball by the door. I didn't want to put a REM pod by the door this time because if there's other people moving around out there by the door, we're just going to get the same thing again. But after moving from that room to this room, the doors are not next to each other like I thought. There's quite a distance between them. And the only way to test it would be for you to be in one room, me to be in here with a radio each to see if we can trigger it.
It's got to be
No, not when I went out there after it.
Mm.
That sounded like somebody walking up to our door, standing outside the door and then walking off. That's why I went out there. I thought there was somebody pranking me.
Mm.
You know, I make videos and try to debunk my own stuff. I invite people to debunk my stuff. You know, when people say that shadow is you or whatever, then I'll say, yeah, you're right. But I went out in the hallways. I was waiting to see somebody stood there with a stupid look on their face because I caught them and there was nobody there. And I didn't hear them run up that. I heard them walk there, but not up that long corridor.
Yeah.
That was my elbow.
Okay. Is there anybody in this room with us?
So when you look at this room on the TV,
It's different. No.
yeah, it
I've never noticed this before. On the telly.
I'm sure I have. But you focus on the clown and the doll because that's what everyone points out to. I didn't know that was there.
What?
The nun.
Oh no.
But it's like on this show, do like all the grotty effect they've put on
Yeah.
around the beams and stuff. On the show, it doesn't look anywhere near as realistic.
It's infrared, isn't it, most of the time?
Yeah, but in sat here now, it looks far more impressive than on the show. Could you knock back to me? I don't want to do it too loud and everyone else hear it. Which one of these is your favourite doll? Can you move one of them? If Sarah and Billy are not here, and the angry male is not here, what about the spirit that resides in the doll? Apparently demonic. I don't think a demon can live in a doll. Prove me wrong. Light up the box next to me, next to you. Or even better, move. If you're a demon, you'd have more power. Just shoot away if that thing fucking falls.
Oh god. Oh god.
I'll be sat in the corridor.
That's why I'm here. I've got the door.
Oh, you're sat over there so you can get out of here quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
So guys, she was terrified earlier. Nearly didn't come. Are you glad you've come now?
I am, but I'm still like anxious. Like
Yeah.
oh shit. Should I tell them?
Radio.
Did you get it?
No, the radio.
What? Oh.
Their radio was
their
going off.
radio. Okay.
They're talking back now.
Right, okay.
I'm turning that off, but it's the radios that are setting you off.
It's off now, is it?
Yeah.
Hi guys, just checking up on you two, how things in that room.
Very quiet.
Okay, we're going to be moving you to room 6 shortly. I'll be in touch very soon.
Thank you.
I would say I'm disappointed that these dolls haven't moved, but you know, we've got more in that room than I've got on 3 paranormal investigations previous, so it is what it is. You can't always capture stuff all the time, and if you can, it's probably bullshit. So guys, we're in my favourite room from the show. It's the Summoning Circle room. If you've never watched the My Haunted Hotel show, this is one where Lady Snake came in. I don't know what she did, but it freaks me out a bit. I was hoping we'd get to come spend some time in this room. Again, an awesome job on decorating. Absolutely amazing. So we're going to do some call outs. Again, the light's going to be terrible, but I don't want to... I think that bathroom light needs to go off as well.
We'll Put the light on me one hour.
That's them next door.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh, go on then. It's fine, but now I can't see anything.
I need that.
Put the light. What was
What
that?
was that? They were only faint taps.
Was that you? Can you do that again?
I think so much movement next door.
Yeah.
That could have just been that. So if you're oh so powerful, is all you can do is 2 little tiny taps. You like to scare women. You like to scare women. There's a woman here with me. And you don't like being stood up to. And I'll stand up to you. I'm more freaked out by those little dolls in the next room than I am you. Be protective of this box. Put your box there. Does that bother you? Does it bother you that I've moved your box? And that I'm not scared of you? I'm sat in what's called a summoning circle. And you're supposed to be evil. You don't like being stood up to? I don't think I could stand up to you much more. I think you're more scared of us than we are of you. You caught yourself for it. I'm cooling you in the dark. The scary ghosty man. Come on.
I don't go on there. You can edit me out.
I'm in your circle. I've moved your box. My wife isn't scared of you. I'm not scared of you. Show me that you're apparently powerful. Bang on something. Scratch something. As in sound wise. Don't fucking scratch me. Surely a big scary man can just make this little rocking chair move. Little rocking chair with a dolly. If I move out of your circle and I take your box with me. Does that bother you? Does it bother you at all? Come on, you're a dark ended. Is it me? Is it really warm in here? I'm actually sweating.
It is quite warm.
You still got your hoodie on, haven't you?
Yeah.
So
I took my coat off though.
I think my highlight of this trip so far has been you running from there to there and jumping onto the bed to get in there as quick as you could. It's when a kid flushes the toilet and runs across a hall in the
I'll
dark.
still do that.
That's what you look like.
Tomorrow. Alright.
Come out of my nose!
What was that?
Where's the radio? What room are we in?
5.
Room 5 to control. Just had a massive bang.
6.
Room 6. Like a stack of books. And stuff is shot out of my face. Can you do that again?
Are you trying to contact me, guys?
Yeah, we're in room 6. There's a massive bang by the stack of books in the far corner where the box usually is.
Oh, just check that back for you now. How long ago did that happen?
Literally
10.
15-20 seconds. You won't miss it 'cause it scared me a fair bit.
Okay, I'll just check that back for you now.
Oh,
I don't know if I'll next one.
was that you? Can you do that again?
Not that light off here, love. Maybe we got too much light in here and that's why it's...
If that was you, can you do it again?
That's just them moving next door. Well, I asked you to scare me and you did. Can you do that again? That was a big thump.
That was really loud.
There hasn't been another noise.
Yeah, guys, just set that back for you. No explanation for that one. That is very, very weird.
Thank you. They just see water spray out my face. I could hear him laughing.
I did see that.
Oh, fuck!
Whoever made that big bang, buy the books. Can you do that again for us, please? Are you upset that Bearder moved the box?
He probably was upset. He's not now.
If
He's
you-
a white tit. Came out nose.
If you did it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only water.
I know.
If you want him to put the box back, can you make a noise again?
Make that big bang. I'll put your box back. Same bang in that corner.
That was loud. That was really good.
Not from this end.
It was frightening. I didn't run out the door though.
No. You'd go wet if you did. I'm not drinking all that, yeah. Sounded like it was here. Deep thud, like somebody's like fucking. Either like somebody hitting the wall down there, or that. Maybe I should stop if somebody landed to try and get a reaction. Heating's not on. Oh fuck!
What did you? Oh.
They didn't see that.
Yeah, they would have.
No, they don't watch it all at the same time. I look a right fucking mug.
Do you want this now?
Yeah, we want that big hit. So guys, I don't know if did you record that bang?
Well, the phone was on. The sound probably would have picked up.
I don't know what you were looking at. So guys, if you didn't catch it, if you haven't got on this, I hope I know the Haunted Hotel guys have caught it. Basically, I've been trying to provoke whatever dark spirit is said to haunt this room. Since the provoking, I've got really hot. Like the other rooms are nowhere near as hot as this one.
Okay.
Yeah,
You are sweating.
I'm boiling.
It's not warm.
I'm really hot. Really hot. And then I'm trying to provoke nothing. I'm having a bit of a laugh. I move the box around. Put the box here. I'm sort of having a laugh and being a bit rude, trying to provoke because it says it doesn't like confrontation. And then this bang in the corner, it scared the crap out of me. Unfortunately, I was drinking as it happened, and I've sort of sprayed my jeans, my right arm, a little bit of the floor. It's only water. It's just weird. We radioed it down. They've checked the cameras, and they don't know where it's coming from. Obviously, they're going to have checked next door because there are people in there. But all of the noise they've been making is up this end of the room, behind where Mrs. Geek is sat. And it was that far corner down there where the box should have been, but I moved it. The EMF hasn't gone off, the cat balls haven't gone off, but that bang when I've tried to provoke it, it's weird because we haven't heard that bang before or since. There are people in the next room, but they seem to be focused at one end. I don't know what's underneath us. Probably, well, it's all the function room in it and the red room. And I don't think the ceilings down there are as low as up here, are they?
But this isn't low.
No, what I'm saying is, it's not like somebody's like accidentally hit it with a mop or their head, like I've just done with that beam. Yeah. It was weird. It was... I don't want to sound like a divvy because I do ghost hunts and I debunk stuff. And it was almost like I provoked it and it taught me a bit of a lesson by making me look stupid. Was it paranormal? I'm not going to say it is. It was a hell of a coincidence. Something banging like that after I've taken the piss out of it for 10 minutes, just as I'm drinking. And now I'm too scared to take a drink in case I spray something else. So guys, we're in room 1 now, post-war room. I didn't actually know what it was designed after until I've just read it. I don't know if they've done it on purpose, but there is definitely like the smell of old people in here. I don't know how to describe it.
It's probably somebody's perfume.
Almost like, no, like peppermint-ish type smell. It reminds me of my great nan's house, the smell. Maybe it's because it's oldie stuff. Or was it just designed to look old? So this room is known for its knocking. Hopefully we'll get some more of that. Preferably when I'm not drinking.
There is anybody there. Can you knock?
I don't know what, that looks
Something.
far more freaky in real life than it does on the telly. Look at that. Going in?
No.
Are you going to stay there when I go in?
Oh, that's not fair.
Which one
Are
would
you
you...
going in here? Are you going with the camera?
Oh, I don't think I might be a bit big for this. So guys, I've knocked the light off. Gone in through the cupboard. Just want to see if I can get any knocking in here when I'm on my own. Mrs. Geek's in there. She's probably not happy that she's on her own. You happy you're on your own, love?
Alright. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get back out without taking the entire wardrobe out. Oh, I'm way too big for this. Anything up, Jeff?
No. You recording this?
So we're in our last room before we go often do other stuff. I think maybe we'll all be downstairs. I haven't looked quite keen to do that earlier. We are in room 3. Room 3 has been decorated with mirrors after a dark witch came in and recommended we put portals to the other side all over the room. This room has had a lot of activity since, with shadows spotted in the mirrors.
Oh no, look at thanks.
So guys,
No, that's not
the thing with mirrors is if you have two, like people will say them two mirrors facing each other is bad luck. Apparently it creates a portal, and in here there's probably about 15 mirrors, maybe more. They're all wonky. And they're all opposite each other. Which by itself is freaky. Like I've never had this many mirrors in a room. So look,
good.
that was a seagull.
It was outside, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is the window open?
Look where the window's cracked, look.
Oh, that was next door.
That screech, it was a seagull or something outside. Oh, God. So if there are any spirits here that want to speak to us, if you can't speak to us in the traditional way, I've got some equipment dotted around the room. These mirrors could be your equipment, apparently, according to legend. Mirrors facing each other.
Is that in the bed creaking, or is
Yeah,
it
it's me leaning against the headboard. Apparently these mirrors are a portal. Can you use the portal? By the bathroom door, there's a black box. If you stand next to it or touch it, it'll make a sound for us. There's a green light to my left. If you touch that, it'll change colours and we'll know you're there. And there's also a ball by the doll and the window. If you can move the doll, the ball will light up and we'll know you've moved it. Or any way you want to contact us. Knocking, whistling, shouting. Or if you really want to, throw something. That's me. I'll turn this light off, see if we get anything. I wish I stopped turning on the wrong way. Freaky this is. My camera's not going to pick that up, is it? When you look on the TV, like I'm in front of my camera there. When you look on the TV and you're seeing the black and white image, it makes it look far lighter than it actually is. And we've got these two little flickering lights. And the phone is on there, which is giving off a bit more light. That's me, love. Could you give us a sign that you're there? A sign that you're not riding a Harley? Could you turn the lights off? Could you knock? Knock the door? Or knock on one of the mirrors? Let us know that you're here. a lot of people come a long way just to see if you're real. This hotel is going to be investigated for years and documented for years. Does that make you happy? Does that make you angry? How do you feel about all these mirrors in your room?
What was that?
Dunno. I think somebody's just had a fright in one of the rooms because we've just heard them shouting, "Oh, what was that?" and then running. So at the moment we're back in our room, which is room 4, the sword room. Because it started to get quiet, they've put a white noise box out in the hallway to try and charge the atmosphere. Just before it happened, we had the girls next door saying we're getting tapping on the wall. We're getting more tapping on the wall, and it was in threes. There's a tower of blocks we noticed when we were in there. Kids building blocks, and that tower of blocks went over. I hope for them that it was on camera. That'd be really cool.
It was on the floor though, and the floorboards here are like very creaky, aren't they?
But it depends who's moving, because we were moving and we are next to them. We're on the bed. But so far, I don't know how many hours we've been here now. It's probably going on for midnight, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
So we've been actively on a paranormal hunt since 9. So we've been here 3 hours. And in 3 hours, between...
Hi guys, you said about the Tower of Bricks getting knocked over. They're not in shot of the camera, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, you'd be gutted, wouldn't you?
It's a shame.
So it wasn't on camera. They're not going to get it. That's gutting. In 3 hours, obviously we've just been outside for a vape with some of the other guests, and everyone has had an experience here tonight. Nothing huge, nothing major. The bang we heard in the summoning circle room, everyone else had heard it, so it was quite a substantial bang. Obviously the guys have checked the cameras and they can't account for what caused such a loud bang, which is quite impressive.
That was the room where I had to turn the light off and run and jump on the bed.
Yes, it is.
I don't
So,
want this.
you didn't like that room, did you?
Nah.
I've had more hits on the REM pod and EMF in this room than anywhere else. But yeah, when I moved that box in the summoning room, that seemed to anger something. And it might not be really... I've been warm all night, but in there, there was sweat pouring out of me. I wouldn't say I felt ill, but just really hot. And as soon as we went into the next room, which was the World War II or post-war room, I cooled down. Sort of the ambient temperature. I am quite warm, but nothing like I was in there. Because you looked at me and said, "You're sweating." Luckily, I cooled off with the spray of water that came out of me. They've done a remarkable job on decorating this, on turning it into... It's creepy. It is creepy. But it's not overly scary. There's a creepy aspect. That's the white noise box and a radio you can hear going off. Should have come.
I thought we were all going on.
We are. 5. For me, the room, out of all of the rooms, the one I not disliked. I kind of liked it the most because it was the scariest room for me was the summoning circle room. Scariest room for me was the summoning circle room. You didn't like the doll room either, did you?
No. But nothing happened in there.
No, the dolls room was actually really quiet for us, but other people have had stuff in there. You can't expect to go around every room and have something happen in every room, and if you did, you're going to call bullshit, because paranormal stuff doesn't happen on command whenever you want. And like they say on the show, it waves of activity, and that's exactly what everyone's experienced here. Is there anyone there? Could you give us a sign? Could the man with the sword please give us a knock? Or a bang? We had a loud bang earlier. I was quite impressed by it. There's 3 balls dotted around the room. If you push them, they'll light up. And they're quite bright, so we'll be able to see them everywhere.
Guys, can you hear me in room 4?
Yeah, we're receiving.
We want you to now make your way into room 2, please, and I will let you know what to do when you get in there.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay guys, we're going to room 2. I'm not going to record in there because it's going to be the mask and earphones thing. So if you get anything, you'll have to watch the channel for that. So guys, end of the night. It is 2 a.m. Last hour or 2 of the night went really quiet. We had a massive scare off the generator. 2 massive scares off the generator. That'll be on their channel. I stopped recording probably about halfway through the night because I wanted to experience, instead of having a bright light on me all the time. Luckily, most of the stuff that did happen here was on when we first arrived in this room and in the summoning circle room. Genuinely brilliant night. Really tired. I've been up since 4 a.m. It's 2 a.m. now. Mrs. Geek's about ready to crash out. She has been for hours. But a fantastic night. I can't recommend it enough for you guys. If you want to go somewhere and experience something, even if it's just the equipment doing something that you've never got it to do before, this is going to be the place for it. While this place does have a certain creep factor, it's not like terrifying or scary. Some people are going to find it terrifying and scary. But the staff, they look after you so well. It was Mrs. Geek's birthday. They came round with shots for us all. You know, there was a big round of happy birthdays for her. They didn't have to do that. They could have just taken the money, left us to it. When things got quiet in the night, they kept bringing more and more equipment, trying more and more experiments to see what else they could get the building to do. It's a beautiful building. If you think you're going to a 5-star hotel, you're not. You're going to a haunted hotel. It's, and from what we can tell, there is nothing I could debunk about this place. There were certain things that people were getting excited about, and the 2 guys that are here tonight running it, they were like, no, it's this, this is normal. They're not afraid to debunk, which is a breath of fresh air. It's really nice for... They could claim everything is paranormal and flood the doors, and they don't. It's like, no... What was that bang? That's somebody going out for a cigarette, because literally they've got phones and they're just logging into cameras and they can tell us where everyone is at any point. Biggest thing for me was the bang in the summoning circle room and the walking in the hallway. I radioed it through. They confirmed there was nobody out there. It happened again and I ran out after there. I think I recorded it. I've gone running up the hallway, turned the corner, and there's nothing there. 2 ladies next door had the exact same experience. The bang in our room, the bang in the summoning circle room scared me. The whole building heard it. It was like a gunshot going off to some people. But absolutely incredible. And get here early before the actual hunt, because the bar downstairs that's open to the general public, it's a lovely friendly thing. We stood outside looking at the building, taking a couple of photos, and there's a couple of sat there. You're gonna love it. It's great. The staff are wonderful. And then when we said we were staying, they're like, oh, Oh, I wouldn't, but yeah, everyone's just so friendly. It's they've done really well with it. The rooms are decorated very appropriately for what they're trying to achieve here, and they genuinely seem to care about it. Hopefully, this will be some cool footage. You get to see me scared. Go on over to my haunted hotel. I will link them in the description down below. I will definitely be coming back because tonight's been epic. Yeah, check their channel out, check their videos out. It's an incredible place, and I can confirm there's no trickery, there's no bullshit, and it's a breath of fresh air. Guys, next morning, hardly any sleep. Weirdly, we woke up and the wardrobe door was open slightly. As the chest of drawers next to the wardrobe, the third drawer was open fully. They weren't open when we went to sleep, and there's no way anyone got in the room. We locked the door behind us, so that's really cool. The two ladies that were on the investigation last night, one of them stopped us on the way out, asked Kelly what her name was, because she thought her name was Kelly. Apparently they were doing a spirit box session, was it? They were doing a spirit box section last night, and asked who's in the next room to them, because they heard a noise, which there's an empty room and then there was us, and apparently the spirit box clearly said Kelly, and they've captured that on footage. Really good night. I really enjoyed it. Really tired. We got to bed perhaps 2, and then probably asleep by about 3-4 o'clock, and then he was off and on. There was a lot of noise, but there was drunk people outside, and the other guys were still investigating, probably until that was 4 or 5 o'clock this morning. But all in all, top night, great staff. So, long drive home. How are you feeling, Miss Geek?
I'm tired.
I'm very tired.
Yeah, tired.
It's also Mrs. Geek's birthday, so drop happy birthday in the comments down below. Legends, I'll catch you on the next one.